You're 15, and the sun is harsh as you disembark from the ship, feet scraping against the dusty streets of Rome. The scent of salt water still clings to your skin, but it's quickly overtaken by the stench of the city's crowded markets. You're bound by the wrists, a rope that smells of sweat, and the scent of the last girl who wore it, the one who didn't make it to Rome. Your journey began in the north, far from the empire, in a land where there are smells of rain and pine. But this is Rome, and this is a city where power is purchased, and your life, your very body, is now for sale. You are one of many slaves taken from across the empire to serve in the homes of the wealthy. And tonight, you sleep in a small chamber near the master's bedchamber, your worth determined by your beauty. You are not a person anymore, you are property. And your life will be dictated by the whims of your owner today. You'll live the life of a pleasure slave in ancient Rome. From the luxurious marble halls to the bitter rivalries within the master's household, you will see how survival depends on beauty, obedience, and the fickle favor of a Roman patrician. You were born in a small village in the north, perhaps in the Alps, or along the banks of the Danube. The Romans, always expanding their empire, took what they wanted, and the warlords that came through your village took you as a spoil of conquest. Your life became a commodity in the grand market of Rome. The trip to Rome was long and grueling. Bound in chains, you were transported across the seas. As you dock at the port of Ostia, the pungent salt water hits you, but the weight of your fate settles more heavily than the sea breeze. You're taken off the ship like cargo, your feet stepping on cobblestone streets, unaware that you are now just one of the thousands of slaves in the city. In the grand slave market, they inspect you like an object, your skin, your height, your teeth. The Romans don't care about your history or your name. You're just another asset to be bought. When a Roman patrician sees you, he buys you a girl who could serve, a woman who could entertain, and above all, one who could become his concubine. The grandeur of the Roman villa is overwhelming. The marble floors, the statues of gods and emperors, the sprawling gardens. The villa is a reflection of the Roman elite wealth, power, and indulgence, but you don't belong here, not truly. Roman households were complex, organized like many kingdoms. The master is the paterfamilias, the father of the household. And his word is law. He owns everything in the house, from the food on the table to the bodies of his slaves. You are introduced to your new life with one simple rule: to serve. As a pleasure slave, your role is to entertain and provide pleasure to your master. Whether through companionship or fulfilling his desires, you are trained to be silent, obedient, and beautiful. Each day is a lesson in Roman etiquette, poetry, music, and dance. Women in Roman households were expected to be well versed in these arts, but slaves like you had no choice but to learn. The daily rituals are exhausting. You are constantly dressed in fine silk tunics, but the weight of your own beauty feels like chains. The master's wife watches you from afar, her gaze as sharp as a dagger. She is aware of your role, and so are the other slaves, but no one dares speak of it aloud. You live in a world of whispers, power struggles, and careful steps. In ancient Rome, household slaves could sometimes be elevated to the status of concubines, but this was never guaranteed. While women of the upper class could marry and bear legitimate children, slaves were considered property, and their children, unless freed, would also be slaves. Life in the villa is not glamorous. You are not the only one vying for your master's attention. The house is full of beautiful women, and your place is never secure. Rivalries are everywhere. You see the other slaves looking at you with envy or disdain. Some will serve the master's guests, others are given menial chores, but you are here for more. Roman society is based on honor, power, and family lineage. A slave's status is determined by their master's favor. A single nod from your master can change your life, but the moment he loses interest, you are cast aside. Many slaves are sold, sent to hard labor, or worse, discarded like old furniture. The mistress of the house has her own agenda. She tolerates you because the master allows it, but she's always watching, waiting for you to slip. Roman concubines were often slaves or freed women who lived in the master's home and were kept for companionship, sometimes for political or strategic reasons. They could have children, But those children were usually still considered slaves unless their father decided to grant them freedom. You are summoned one night. The villa is quiet. The servants are asleep. You bathe in oils, your skin soft and fragrant. You're taken to the master's chamber, a room scented with rose and myrrh. The air feels thick with expectation. If he favors you, your status will rise. You are no longer just another body. You are a woman of importance. Gold chains, gifts, your own quarters. You are now more than a possession. You are an asset. But the higher you rise, the more dangerous the game becomes. A single glance from the master, a single word of affection, could shift your place in the villa forever. And if the master tires of you, you are discarded. A forgotten name, lost in the shadows of Rome. You give him a son. The master looks at the child and calls it a blessing from the gods. For you, it is your ticket to safety for now. You are no longer just a woman in the villa. You are the mother of his child. In Rome, children are power. A son is a legacy. A son is your lifeline. The master's wife watches you closely, but she says nothing. You've crossed a line now. You are untouchable. But time is a cruel master. The child grows, the master's affection fades. You watch the other women, younger and more beautiful, rising while you fade into the shadows. You wonder, when will it be your turn to fall? As the years pass, your beauty fades, and with it, your value. You are no longer the youthful pleasure slave that once captivated the master. The younger women begin to replace you. The whispers of rivalry grow louder. Without the master's favor, you are just another face in the crowd of slaves. Your power is gone, and with it, your place in the villa. Some women are married off, some are sent to the fields. But few ever achieve true freedom. Some slaves, however, rise again. Their children, born of their masters, become heirs and powerful figures in Roman society. But for most, old age brings obscurity, their names erased from history, forgotten. You lived in marble halls, but you were never free. You survived on the edge of favor, one wrong glance away from losing it all. Your beauty and power were fragile, fleeting. So tell me, if you were taken into the master's villa as a pleasure slave, would you fight for survival and power, or would you try to remain invisible, hoping the master's favor never fades? Let me know in the comments, and if this story trapped you in the world of Rome's power games. Subscribe for more journeys into history's forgotten corners.